I say we roll it. I say we roll it. Let's roll it. We're live. We're live from multiple different places. For one, live from the studio in the Money Media headquarters. None other than Ray Cotolo here, celebrating the wonderful holiday of Thanksgiving, where on the first day of Thanksgiving, my true love gave to me a turkey cram full of stuffing. We'll get through the other 11 through this show that has gotten a little longer. Our main focus tonight, the progress pace, last stakes event, major stakes event, I think, on the harness racing calendar. I can never remember because over the last, or at least traditionally, Northfield used to have a stake sometime in December. I don't remember fully if that is still there, but we have a grade 2 stakes event happening tonight down in old trusty Delaware, the first state, as far as we know. I thought the first state was the state of mind, but $274,000 progress pace gathers the Glamour Boy Pacers for that race. That goes as race number 10. They're currently on the track for the 7th, so we have an additional race that is happening on this show. We'll take a look at races 8 and 9 as well. Again, thanks also to US Trotting for helping us put on this show, providing live coverage of racing from Dover Downs. That's right, US Trotting sponsoring the Progress Pace. Trotting, pace, we're not really going to ask that many questions. As usual for a Harness Players podcast, we have Mr. Mikee P on the airwaves with us. And as part of our on-site coverage, we welcome in Edison Hatter, who I thought we sent you to Delaware, but it looks like we have sent you into the stratosphere. Okay, good. You're on track. That's a good thing.
Ray, I can assure you this is a NASCAR track. That is indeed the horse track. I was very confused which one I was supposed to go to, so it turns out they're both here. So this is great.
Absolutely. I think there is going to be some stock car stuff happening later on that we're not going to be able to have any part of. But I was worried.
Ray, I'm cutting you off because they're going to the gate here. We can get a pick out of you for this race if we're betting the 7th race. I mean, the 1, the 4, that's the 2 taking the money here. Are we going to get a very quick 7th race pick for you?
I had absolutely no time to look at the 7th, so in the 5 horse we trust.
Mike, what are you taking?
I try the 6. That horse, I think, has a live shot at a price 27-1 on the 6. Anthony Morgan, 18,000 wins now.
Yes, I was just told that milestone happened recently here, and hopefully we'll get a look at what our covers will be like tonight. Ray is not going to call races for us against tonight, but we got me here on site with this camera by the fence here, heading around the turn. I would take the 4, by the way, at 2-1 there at that price. And yeah, Ray, I think you said it pretty well. We got 7, 8, 9, 10 here tonight. 10's the big one. Got some interviews. We're hopefully going to grab Tim Tetrick coming off the track after this race, Ray. That is the goal. And then I'm going to become you and go pick up my sandwich that I ordered and eat it on air so everybody can listen to it.
That's perfect. That's exactly what you should do with a sandwich. You should eat it, and you should eat it when it makes sense for you. I'm just, as you're doing this, getting the live feed set up because thankfully I was able to fix some of the setup. We have a nice little widescreen shot now of where Edison Hatter's at. The 7th race is going around the first turn here. And this is for folks who are unfamiliar. If you go to a racetrack, which you can still do in the year 2025, you can walk in and you can see the races actually happen. They aren't something that just occur on your cell phone while you're doing 70 on the interstate. They race on the track. They go right by you. They make a lot of noise.
So we have Tim Tetrick and Corey Callahan battling it out up front. So, of course, we get to start our night with the 2 colors that kind of look alike, kind of separate them. But I believe it's Tetrick on the inside with that 4.
Green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow.
27-1, 55-3. You know, fast fractions, I think, again, Ray, you've already got a couple of pre-recorded interviews you're going to be able to play here throughout the evening. And Scott Zeron talked a lot about the fastness of this track, particularly last week with the way that'll work out for him.
Which important thing is as they're going in this race right now, Edison, you're on the track at the moment. What were the conditions? Are you feeling any kind of wind? Are you
let's make sure we cover all of our legal bases. I'm not on the track. I am by the track.
Okay, well, since you're by the track in a decent enough proximity to where you can feel what it would be like to be on the track. Are we getting any type of wind? Is it cold out? What are we dealing with?
I'll acknowledge that after we watch the conclusion of this race, which is, you know what, I don't have a great angle. You guys have a better angle on it. That 8's been hung out there the whole way, and it's still between those two, I think, and maybe the 7 up the inside. What do we get on the feed at home?
The 7 and then the 1. Yeah.
Okay.
7 and the 1.
Yeah, you know, actually, to be honest with you, for late November, I mean, by the way, I'm like right on this bridge. So, the fun fact, I'm learning all sorts of facts for this broadcast for the future. So, this bridge is purely dirt, and they have to build this up after the NASCAR race so the horses can go over it to the racetrack on the inside of the NASCAR track. So, fun facts. Great question you asked there, though, Ray. By the way, so there was an accident before the last race. I think we discussed that. So that actually delayed a lot of these horses. So that's Madden Oaks there right in front of us. It delayed a lot of these progress horses warming up. So there's a look at Dandy Ideal heading out in front of us. And I believe all of Burks, who, of course, has 5 of the 9 in the race, they came out before the 6th race. So they've warmed up quite a while ago now, especially considering that accident really gave them a lot of time ahead of their race that they ended up warming up. But, you know, when I first got here, Ray, we were close to 70 degrees today. I mean, it's a very pleasant evening for late November. When we planned this show months ago, I really anticipated a lot worse conditions than this. Since then, it's definitely cooling down. It's still pretty comfortable, again, especially considering the time of the year. There is a slight chance of rain, and just as you asked me about the weather, I did just feel a first drop. But wind's pretty minimal, and for now, no rain. And I don't think we're going to get any major rain, but keep you updated if we get a shower or two.
So basically what it sounds like is any horse that loses, there are no excuses. They cannot blame the rain. They cannot blame the wind. They cannot blame the temp. It is going to be fair conditions out on that track today.
Yeah, I think that's pretty valid to say.
Well, the 7th race, that was a 10-1 shot. Mikee's watching. Or line him up, knock him back, excuse me. The 8th race odds already came up.
We're going to let me disappear, Ray. We're going to see if we can't go grab Tim Tetrick here, and we'll see what he has to say about Fallout.
Oh, yes. So Tim Tetrick is one of the drivers competing in tonight's Progress Pace Final, $274,000 the purse. He stays with his trusty charge Fallout, a horse who he won the Metro Pace with as a 2-year-old and has had somewhat of a fledgling sophomore campaign, was in the barn of Tony Alagna, only 1 win from 15 starts this year. But just a few weeks ago, Ron Burke put up $500,000 at the Harrisburg mixed sale to acquire Fallout. And first start for Burke, finished 3rd in that Progress Pace elimination. It looks like we got Tim Tetrick.
Yep, we're joined here by driver Tim Tetrick, head of tonight's Progress Pace Final. Tim, you have Fallout, so you've been the regular driver of so far this year, and you know, so far this year, just the 1 win, but it's had some pretty good races in there, definitely.
Definitely been a disappointment this year, Jerry, when we got to last year. But, you know, new connections, you know, last week and tonight, you know, they're just trying to get you going in the right direction.
Yeah, so that's a good question to ask you about. Obviously, a big purchase in Harrisburg this year for the Burke Brigade, 1 of 5 in here for trainer Ron Burke tonight. Any changes you've seen the horse equipment-wise or otherwise with the new connections?
Yeah, he was great the same last week. He raced okay last week, just kind of, you know, he left good, got put away 3rd, and then he finished 3rd, you know, and I know Ronnie said that the blood work will cool off, so hopefully he'll be better. The 9-hole doesn't help. It's, here the 9-hole is kind of a disadvantage, but, you know, right now we're trying to get it checked, so hopefully the works out.
Yeah, Tim, so post 9 second-tier start, thoughts on how the trip might work out from there?
We're just going to have fuller position, try to get away best we can, and, you know, he has a lot and make really matters.
What about him around the track? I haven't seen him a lot on big tracks, but the last 3 starts for him at Cumberland down in Kentucky and the start here last week, won the 5/8. How's he taken to the smaller track?
Oh, he's fine. Small track. He can get around the barrel. He's really good gated horse, really nice horse to drive. Just got to get help with it.
And Tim, of course, last question tomorrow, Thanksgiving. Best Thanksgiving food?
I like it all, but I'm a big deviled egg guy, so I like the order from deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Tim. Happy Thanksgiving. Best of luck tonight.
So
you know, it's a shame that we haven't already shown the pre-recorded interviews, but I'd like you two to know that we're going to hear some intriguing answers to that question from the 2 previous pre-recorded ones.
yeah, Ed was able to get Cam Capone, trainer of Madden Oaks, and Scott Zeron, driver of Captain Optimistic. We'll have those interviews as the show goes on. I will note, Ed, Tim was coming through somewhat muffled on your audio. I was able to gather some of what he said, which was equipment-wise, nothing's really changed. They have them rigged pretty much the same way.
Correct.
I forget the first thing that he said.
Why don't I recap, Ray? Sorry. Obviously, it's a little windy out here, and I know you and I were talking potential technical audio fun things about all of this. But I said as you mentioned, the Metro win last year obviously a little disappointing this year compared to that Metro win last year in the 2-year-old season, but still has raced okay. And talked a bit about the new connections. Ray, you told me, I believe, $500,000 purposeful call out in Harrisburg just a few weeks ago. So went from trader Tony Alagna to Ron Burke. Obviously, Tim's still driving this horse as he has throughout his career. He said nothing different equipment-wise or otherwise with the horse moving barns, but did say the trainer Ron Burke said the blood work came back a little bit off last week, so hoping everything's good this week. So maybe something to keep an eye on. I did get to watch Fallout warm up. I told you all of Burke's horses went out before the 6th race to warm up. So, by the way, I feel like a 70-year-old with this camera. I'm doing a great job now. I'm just going, you know what, you just get to look at the track. It makes me feel better. I don't have to stress about these things, right? Besides, I'm even paying my sandwich anyway.
Oh, yeah, the bigger question, Ed, before we roll into some more of the racing action. Turkey?
Which is probably a mistake because I got to do it tomorrow, right? I want a roast beef. They were out of roast beef. But, okay, so, right, blood work came back a little bit off. They're hoping that to be better. And then I asked, of course, about the track size, because I think we talked about it a little bit, Ray. I think it's true that we haven't really seen Fallout on a small track besides the last 3 weeks between Kentucky and Dover. And it sounded like Tim was pretty quick to dismiss that and saying that he thinks he'll get around here just fine, and he has already last week. So, and he did say post 9, not a great draw. You know, I got to be honest, I kind of thought, especially for some of the recent style we've seen from him, kind of getting away 4th, 5th, trying to race from there, it's probably about what he's going to be able to do from the second tier, right, from that spot. So, I'm intrigued that Tim didn't seem particularly happy with that post position, but definitely got to be better than post 8 or something, which I'm sure we can ask Jason Bartlett about hopefully after this next race.
Yeah, I feel like no matter what type.
Here's Mad Noakes, by the way, coming back from us again after warming up.
Oh yeah, and he's
we got a thumbs up there from cameras. That's a good sign.
Mad Noakes has always been like a big bullyish kind of horse. He's always had a nice girth to him, and you can even see that when he was turning for home in the elimination, he was veering in. He was like basically weighing down the competition as he was trying to motor up to catch Poppy's rocket at the finish there.
These last two are race 11 horses, but one more here coming into frame now. This is going to be Dandy Ideal, who is our morning line favorite at 5-2. And right, Jason Bartlett driving in this next race, which by the way is a very nice $110,000 final for Delaware horses. And hopefully we can catch Jason after this race as well to chat a little bit about it. But there is our morning line favorite with the unfortunate post 8 draw.
Yeah, we might as well take a reprieve from Progress Pace action. Upcoming is the 8th. I want to shout out Daniel Gieck tuning in on this Thanksgiving Eve. Hope he's having a good night. A steadfast harness racing player. I still remember when he was able to cash that nice try on our Little Brown Jug show when I think Aaron Merriman was left to get 3rd at like a big price. I only remember somewhat about it, but I remember we were all shocked at how high that came back. This year, $110,000 DSBF final. It's the Delaware equivalent of a sire stake. These are all Delaware bred horses. Could be the He's Watching stakes because it seems like all of them are by He's Watching. Sans 1. And that one is the 3-horse Mima's column. As good as a nice little bowl of grits in the morning. By the sire sports column. But Mike, let's take a quick glance at this race. 5-2 morning line favorite. Warren's Charm to the pylon post for Art Stafford Jr. opens up a heavy favorite at 3-5 with second to odds on put option in that prelim last time. Do we forgive that, and do we think that the money is onto something, or is the money creating opportunities elsewhere?
Well, she's won 5 out of 7 so far, and last time got clipped on the wire, so I doubt she knows she lost that race. She just has a nose for the wire, and she's won from off the pace. She won one of these finals back at Harrington in October, and I do think that she's tactical, and that makes her very dangerous versus these. But when you got big money on the line like this, there's others that are going to get after it. I think Just Applause obviously is getting good at the right time, made a break in that other final back on that race and was 2-1 in that spot. Now you get Jason Bartlett on. A lot of speed from that horse, took the elimination at 1-9. Right now, currently is right around 2-1. I think that's value for Just Applause, especially got Bartlett in the bike. He's going to be aggressive here. I do think that she controls the race. The favorites are going to be tough, like Warren's Charm, odds on put option. I think that they're racing very well, but just applause right now, if that price holds, I do think is value.
$2,000 in the win pool currently. That could be anywhere from 1/3 to 1/5, or maybe even 1/6 of what will be bet inside of this race. Dover tends to get pretty sizable monies in all of their pools, especially like exactas. One of my favorite bets to make at Dover for the longest time was exactas, because you can frequently catch pools of like $20,000 to $30,000, and at those amounts, comparable to other harness tracks, that sometimes gives you that extra liquidity to make some money. But counter hand of that is a lot of times a lot of that money gets concentrated on the most obvious outcome. So in some cases, you may end up actually getting a lower payoff than what you're looking for. Like, for example, if it comes in second favorite, first favorite, that exact is probably going to be fairly well covered. And looking at this race, Mike, at least to my eye, it does not look like it stands for any real shockers, because you have a set of horses that are fairly quick, and then the rest of them are probably 2 or 3 seconds slower.
Yeah, and you can see that in the wagering. There's really only 3 horses taking money, the 1, the 5, and the 6. The rest of them are 25 to 1 plus, and the outside ones are 89 and 99 to 1 right now. So those are the 3 horses taking money. If you're looking to play exactas, and you almost have to cold deck an exacta in this race, right? You don't want to be trying to mess around boxing exactas with the 3 favorites in this race. You're just not going to make any money doing that. So if you like one, if you like the 5 on top, well, 5-1 exacta right now is $11. 5-6 is $17. So I agree with you. I don't think that the long shots really have a huge chance to hit the exacta. Usually these kind of races too, when you get 2-year-old fillies, the form tends to hold up in these final type races. And I would think that it's going to be one of those 3 that end up in the winner's circle.
What do we make then of the other horse taking money? The one who beat the current odds-on favorite to the inside odds-on put option was 8 to 5, winning that race by a nose, but got a stone-cold perfect trip, fairly slow fractions to chase inside of that, has to move outside now to post 6. And you look at when she has to go first up, she can fight, but a lot of times that means she's more likely leveling off for a minor piece. Do we think that maybe the post kind of sets her fate, or does she have room to continue to improve?
I think the 6-hole is fine on 5-8 my track. I'd rather have the 6-hole than the rail, honestly. I mean, I just think that that's a better spot. Now, she might not be quick enough to beat the 1 to the pocket in this race, but I do think that the post is totally fine. That's not going to deter her. She kicked 27-3 in that last race, and she's been good. I mean, really 6 starts. She has 3 wins. She did make a break, unfortunately, in that the other final that all these competed in. So that wasn't her. The rest of her races, she's in the exacta. I think that she can improve. I think right now she's 9 to 5 on the board. All these 3 are taking very, very similar money in this race.
7 to 5, 8 to 5, and 9 to 5. So safe to say that this is going to be the race you will make your score. I want to also note, for Warren's Charm to the inside, you see at the quarter, this horse is always outside, going for the lead or making the move. In some ways, that tells me that you're probably right, that those center posts on the gate aren't that bad, because she's probably going to have to make that quarter move to get to the lead. And that the question there is, who is that to the benefit to? Is that the benefit of the 5, or is that to the benefit of the 6? I feel like the 5 has more speed than the 6, and so I don't know that Bartlett would really relinquish controls that way, but it raises some questions that I think for a lot of bettors, if they're like, do I want to figure out between the 7 to 5, the 8 to 5, or the 2 to 1, or do I want to turn on a different track? Some of them might go, I'm going to go hop elsewhere, but we can take a look at some of these exactas as the pool starts to fill. Right now, 2,300 in the exacta pool. And
I'm here via audio. Does that count something? I'm just here.
You can be disembodied. That's perfectly fine, Ed.
Hey, I was listening into some things you guys were saying, and I would say, and you might get a better feel of it when I show the race again here as we prepare to, get towards the gate for this 8th race. It is very similar to Rosecroft. I mean, you got to remember, you're inside of a NASCAR track, a very banked NASCAR track. So I would agree, Post 6 is much better than Post 1 by any stretch, right? I mean, Jason might be happier with Post 8 than Post 1. I mean, for that matter,
I would like, Ed, from your vantage point, to bring back up a view of the racetrack, please.
Yes, we can do that.
Yeah, can we?
Maybe, I don't know. Let's see what technology you got here.
Can we walk towards?
Did you want an angle of the sub as well? By the way, it really was a poor mistake to get turkey the day before Thanksgiving, but it is what it is now.
Cold cut turkey isn't the same as Thanksgiving turkey.
yeah, I think that's what's going to save us. But yeah,
I'm kind of in your camp there, Dan. I feel like the 5 is probably, if you want to counterpunch the favorite, it's probably the Linda horse.
And I'd agree with that, by the way. That was what I was going to say, too. I really been circling the 5 here. Actually, I was kind of figuring the 5 was going to be the favorite. I'm kind of surprised the 1 was morning line favorite, maybe even favorite here. Honestly, I actually much prefer the 5 here.
And Ed, can you pan over to the top of the stretch? Okay, like that it's not super banked. It's not super banked, but it's
not extreme, but it's a little bit.
Because you look at the NASCAR track, and if you can pan over to the NASCAR track, that's a bank. Like that I'd be making a deposit there. But the horse track,
but if you notice, it is a little tighter around that turn, like where horse coming towards right now. Actually, that is Jason with the 5 coming towards right now. Like right there, it is a little bit tighter. And remember, that's about where you're being released on the backstretch on this 5/8, right? So that does make it a little trickier, I think.
Mayhaps. As many a Shakespearean tragedy has once said, and comedy. But those are only comedies because no one died. How many minutes to post for?
0.
0. Well, zero tends to mean 3 or 4.
Yeah, and you know what? I gotta be honest. I'm not. Again, we haven't established. This is my essentially first trip ever here. The one time I stopped here for one race from the grandstand doesn't really count. So I'm not exactly familiar with where my clock is here on what my exact countdown is. But I guess you two can tell me when that TV countdown comes on. That's pretty accurate whenever that 1 minute on TV comes up.
Well, since you're right there, Ed, we got a sense of how it looks when they're coming through. Let's give the people a sense of what this Coliseum is, because you can see the NASCAR grandstands in behind. And this really is unique. There's no racetrack like Dover.
Because when you're driving up to the place, the first thing you see is, of course, you're looking in the background of those grandstands. I mean, a NASCAR race is a huge event, right? You've got 100,000 people here in July for that weekend. So that is the first thing you notice. Now, what I will say, as much as I love this place, as cool as this place is, one unfortunate negative result of that, though, is, of course, the proximity then back to the grandstand, where I have, unfortunately, seen that one race from. You do feel pretty far away from the track. That's the only unfortunate negative side of this, but it is really cool, though, to see these huge grandstands coming here. That, I mean, again, if it's one of the biggest football stadiums in this country, I mean, it's amazing the stands that pack around a NASCAR track.
And like certain tracks have been exploring more dual purpose uses. You see it a lot with infields, where like Red Mile and even Oak Grove. Oak Grove has the amphitheater, but they're looking at ways to figure out how else to use these properties. And I feel like Dover being like an all racing type of property. Well, I don't feel like it just is. It's an all racing dual purpose property. And that's, again, there's nothing like it in any facet of horse racing. It's truly intriguing. And I've never actually looked into how that came about, because I imagine the horse track was there before the NASCAR track.
I don't believe that's correct, actually. I'm
really?
not going to guarantee that myself. Somebody Google this, give me an answer. But I will say, like I'm making the pitch to Mike, because Mike loves to travel, and anybody listening out there has to come here for it. It is a really cool place. Now, obviously, they do race here in the colder months. It starts, we're 1 month into the season, starting in late October. They'll run through, early April. So it is unfortunately colder, but, it is a very nice hotel. I don't know if you can see the kind of style of the hotel there, but, like, it really stands out. The architecture of it kind of looks cool. Very nice casino, very nice property here, of course, large simulcast area. And, of course, live racing here 4 days a week, 4:30 and 15 races. You got good long programs with good full betting fields. Like, come on, Mike, this seems like a perfect kind of a weekend trip away.
Absolutely does. I think that I need to make that trip. It's not that far from me. I think I could probably be there in about 5 hours from here. That you're right. It does look like, but I think they race during the week, right? I don't think they race on the weekends.
Monday to Thursday. We're figuring you'd take Monday off and catch the weekend, or start it early Thursday afternoon.
Mike's very much like me. Monday and Tuesday are his weekend, so that means Wednesday is his Monday, Tuesday is his Thursday, Wednesday is his Friday. I could keep going because there are 7 days in a week. But no, I love, like, when I had a lot more time to just like sit and watch racing all day long and bet racing all day long, I would always be betting Dover. Anytime Dover came on, it was one of my saving grace tracks. If I was down a lot of money, I knew I could make some back playing Dover. And Ed can attest to this. We were quickly looking at a race before the show, and he's like, "This horse is the favorite. Who else stands a chance?" And I gave him the only horse that came close. It was a cold exacta.
That was impressive. I will say, final thoughts are getting ready to head towards the gate for this race. I personally did feel, though, like the 6 horse. I believe I heard you say, Ray, in the background while I was waiting for this food. Perfect trip last time out. I'm not really sure if I want that one back in the spot. And, I'm really kind of surprised that horse is as short as it is. Although now we've gotten to where I thought we would. 8-5 on the 1, 8-5 on the 5, and 2-1 on the 6. I think the 6 is the third choice. I'm going to say it. I think the 5 does go off favored.
Well, I'll say I don't know how this is going to hold, but the 5-1 exacta is currently paying 9-2. That is not bad at all. I would imagine if, depending on how the late money comes in, that at the lowest goes down to $8 for 2.
I will warn and say, and I think it happened with the final on Monday afternoon as well here at Dover when they had another one of these. What is it correctly? Standardbred Development Fund, whatever it is.
Standardbred Breeders Fund.
Breeders Fund, thank you. Finals. Sometimes you do get a big price in second. I think it was 76 to 1 horse in second, in a pretty similar betting board like this. So sometimes you do want to look for value underneath, Ray, and not just chalk out. But I know you like your chalk, so it's okay.
All right, you want to get your bets in because they are heading to the gate. Final piece of trivia: the track and the NASCAR track built at the same time in 1969.
Interesting. 6-5, by the way, now on the 1. It looks like that one will actually be our favorite here. So we'll see how they get out of there.
Yeah, this is our view because the American copyright system is in no ways exploitable.
One got away about third. It looks like the 6 is heading to lead. The 5 is going to drop into the pocket second.
No, Ed, you gotta call it like our bud Mr. Gallagher. They're off out for the lead. There goes.
They're off out for the lead. There goes odds on put option. Just the pause for 2 seconds. Then it's where we charm and a gap of 2 back to Philly View.
You actually had that right.
And you know what's funny? Actually, I wasn't exactly intentionally trying to copy him, but I can hear him in my left ear, and I've got you on my right ear. And I think I basically said the words he said too.
Well, right now we're seeing exactly what I mentioned. The 1 having to make the quarter move, but the 6 was able to outfoot the 5. So now Jason is in the tough spot at even money.
And by the way, yeah, I was going to say he did get bet down late. Yeah, he did go off favorite.
What's the 5-1 exacta paying then? It's paying $8. I still know how this place works. That's crazy.
Do I follow them on the track? Do I go try to get run over too?
No. You're a videographer, not a photographer. 56-2 to the half. Warren's charm on the lead. Odds on put option is in that pocket again. Just applause. I'm curious. This horse has not really had. Well, this horse has gone first up a couple of times and won at Harrington. So
he's going to have to now. He's still sitting in now, though. They're approaching 3 quarters. I think he's going to have to move now. Right now he does. And you know what? I think that horse has some pretty good looking. I think he's got pretty good looking pace, though. He's coming.
Yeah, I think he was waiting to see how much they were going to go. 29-2. 1's kind of coming to the stop. This could come in 5-6.
He broke.
He broke. So that's going to be 6.
Now out of the pocket, here comes our 6. And there is the 6 right by. And, Ray, to be fair, I suppose we can have the discussion again this week about how nice that trip worked out like last week. But if it wins, it wins, right?
To Mike's credit, that's a $13 exacta. I paid 5-1, putting the odds-on favorite second. But you had to take the 6 odds. And I know if for whatever reason Dana Parham is somehow watching this show, he is yelling at me for not believing in this, because I spent hours at the Harrisburg sale talking with Dana and just like commiserating and just philosophizing on life. But the moment I saw this horse, it all made sense, because one of the things we talked about was the stock market. He was telling me how much he loves options, and so this horse named odds on put option. Very clear what was on his mind when the naming sheet came by, and she's a winner.
And Dana's also a pretty darn good gambler right here.
Yeah. His entire broodmare band racing enterprise was built on what he made gambling. And beyond that, he was one of the first computer wagering guys in Vegas in the 90s. He told me that story too. And it's great. Early gambling would be like Al Capone in America. I don't know that Dana was really going that deep into things, but no, like even in the 90s, it's a crazy type of culture.
We're going on the hunt again here to see if we can't go find ourselves Jason Bartlett after this race to ask about Dandy Ideal.
Yeah, don't ask about the 5. Very clear what happened there.
Yeah.
Very clear was I'm gonna win. Ah, damn it! And that's the story.
2-year-old fillies.
Mm-hmm. Well, she showed a break on her page before, so
I don't know. Interesting drive though. I mean, he sort of deferred to the other two, and that put him in a tough spot. And then you think you're on the best horse. Really, no excuse. The horse just didn't take the turn well. So
right,
live to fight another day.
Yeah, man, maybe just like interfered a little bit, depending. I'd have to watch the replay to see if she got crooked at all. I also just realized I can pull up the race feed and see where Hatter might be to accost our people of interest.
I think I'm beyond the winner's circle now, so I don't think you'll see me on there, but it's a valid option. It's a valid option. Try it.
6134, the top 4, me, Maz, column. We'll see how much she contributes to the trifecta at 37-1. The exacta paying 5-1 makes me think that try should come back at least 50.
Maybe more.
Bad.
28,000 in the pool.
Did you say 81 is your guess?
No, 20. I said 28,000 in the pool, in the tri pool. So
Dover takes crazy money. Oh, we got Jason.
We're joined here by driver Jason Bartlett ahead of tonight's Progress Pace final. Jason's got to start by asking, obviously, who's watched the last race there. We did see a break on the page there as well. Obviously, 2-year-old horses, young things happen.
Yeah. It felt like she was going to win the race. Hadn't even really asked her yet, but she's. I think she's done it before, so it's very unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, we turn the page to the Progress Pace. Obviously, the last Grand Circuit race of the year, Dandy Ideal. It's probably my fault. I think I told you at Rosecroft a few weeks ago, a little bit of unlucky drawing for you. Now it's post 8. How do you feel about the draw? Obviously.
It could be worse. So, for him, it's the starting spot. No races. Get himself involved and then there and see how it's developing. But I think I have some sort of game plan how it's going to go. But
yeah, great. He starts been a spectacular year for him. In fact, just missing the Breeders' Crown. 2 wins in a row here at Dover. Maybe a little bit of advantage getting the start.
Yeah, the first week, back last week, he finished with the plugs in 49-1. So him racing for, I would expect a good effort again tonight.
Well, Jason, obviously, Dave, looking for favorite Thanksgiving food.
Oh, stuffing for sure.
Oh, there we go. There's another vote for stuffing. I'm like the only person I've ever heard say that before. So there we go. Thanks a lot, Jason. Best of luck later. Thank you.
I should have let Jason know that stuffing makes me nauseous now. So
by the way, there's my answer. By the way, stuffing is the best Thanksgiving food. It's undebatable. Where do you two fall?
Well, I'm a green bean casserole guy. My mom always made a really good green bean casserole growing up. But Ed, I'm gonna have to ask you again because the wind kept interfering. And if the StreamYard executives are watching, fix your mic setting, fix your mic customization settings, StreamYard. I've been trying to get it clearer as best I can from the producer suite, and I could not. So, Ed, you're going to have to recap what Jason said to you in that interview, because what I gathered is he's not really concerned about post 8. He has an idea of how the race is going to go, which in that moment I thought meant he's just going to go to the lead. But then he also said that he won with the plugs in 49, so he's not really concerned.
I mean, it sounds to me like you got everything. I don't know if you need me to recap for you, but yeah, sorry. Again, just so I make you happy that at least I am trying, I did take out the AirPod that time and I switched to the regular phone audio with what we were going with. It is getting windier, by the way. Let's talk about the weather again here in a minute because it was not windy at all when I got here. It's very windy now. Let's get back to that in a second. But yeah, so now I'm back to the AirPod. So hopefully you all can hear me well enough.
We can hear you, yes.
And yeah, Jason, you know, that is interesting to me. You know, Ray, you're the Dover expert. So you tell me. Jason, you know, I asked about the post draw, and he said it's not ideal, but it could be worse. He thinks post 9's worse.
Yes,
I mean,
it is a lot worse.
Definitely worse.
I can back this up with statistics while you keep talking.
Okay, I mean, I guess it depends on the horse, obviously. You know, if you want to get the lead or something, you're not doing that for post 9. But, you know, alternatively, if you try to leave post 8 and there's a lot of speed inside in a big money final like this, potentially, it might get a better trip for post 9, I think, in theory, right? So I'm curious.
Here are the Dover Down statistics. Now, granted, this is also coming from me, a guy who says the statistics are not gospel. And even at Oak Grove, I talk about a lot how sometimes you want the 9 or 10 hole. In the end, it all depends on what the race looks like. But at least for like a race of pacing 3-year-olds where, you know, a lot of horses are going to try and go 26 to the quarter. If you're in the second tier, that's going to put you behind the ball no matter what, and you're coming first or second up. Like, period. That is most of the time. Beyond that, statistically speaking, at Dover, post 9 wins less than post 8. Post 8 right now has a 4.7% win rate. Post 9 has 3.4. Granted, the sample size is fairly small since this is just this season. What'd you say?
Said pretty close, though.
It is pretty close.
Post 8 is not great either. 4% in post 8.
Barely better than post 9.
Okay, so
not much.
I mean, point remains. Regardless, a tough draw either way, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
It's a lot windier there.
Yeah,
My
I'm saying,
God.
Detour, but let's sidetrack to this weather for a second. Yeah. So, it's now a very significant. You can hear it. I'm assuming. Tailwinds in the front stretch and a headwind on the back stretch. Yeah, I mean, I just saw another drop of rain. I don't really think the rain is going to have any sort of issue with this at all. But
you said it's a headwind in the backstretch.
Correct. Yes.
I'm curious if that holds, if that has any impact on what we see off the gate. That could help a horse like Fall Out.
Right now, I'm obviously standing pretty close towards the, well, you've seen before, like where that bridge is. And you know, I'm facing towards the top of the stretch, and it is just right in my face. So, and it's been pretty consistently that direction, too. So it's not like it's really moving at all. So it's just a pretty consistent.
It can't be that strong. It can't be that strong, though, Ed, because I grew up watching the Weather Channel, and I watched all of the hurricane coverage
they would
do.
If you can give me an umbrella, I can go full Jim Cantori on you if you'd like, and I might get blown away.
But Hatter, the staple of large wins is that you have to shout. For whatever reason, when they go so fast, it makes you have to talk louder.
But it is pretty significant, though. We'll keep an eye on it, obviously, as we approach closer and closer to race 10. But I'm sorry, we keep getting sidetracked about what Jason did or didn't say. Yeah, so post 8, he would have, I guess he prefers the post 9, but again, not a great draw. Nothing significant otherwise. I mean, obviously, he talked about, Breeders' Crown a couple weeks ago. Was obviously a really great race, just missing in that final. And the last 2 weeks here at Dover have been pretty good. But he did say that 2 weeks ago, he was the first race, obviously, since the Breeders' Crowns had raced since then. So that puts 2 or 3 weeks off, right? 2.5 weeks. I mean, he said the horse wasn't super great in that race, which is, interesting because he didn't seem particularly thrilled at all, actually. And the horse actually won, I think, by half a length, right? So he mentioned, obviously, 26-2 opening quarter. It said wasn't particularly thrilled with the way, finished or anything. But obviously last week was much, much happier with how tight the horse was. And obviously, not only got the win, but he said, plugs in 49 and change. So I guess positive signs heading to tonight. And obviously not quite sure how the trip's going to work out for post 8, but to be determined. And, we got another vote for stuffing. Did Mike tell us yet? What's Mike's favorite food?
Stuffing for sure. My grandmother's stuffing. Actually, she's gone now, but I still...
Well, what was her secret? Pass it on to everybody so she can live on.
I have the recipe. I guess I can post it in the comments if you want.
I mean, if it's that good, Mike.
It's good.
If it's the only thing you remember about old Graham,
I'm like in the turkey stuffing also.
But by the way,
that's not recommended, but that is. I'm still here, so.
Oh, is it not? That's the only thing I really live for is my dad. Something like that. I guess it's probably not technically kosher by some food standard, right?
Well, kosher's probably not the right word you want to use since that's an actual food term.
Well,
I
you know
think
what I
it
mean,
is
but-
technically kosher.
Hey, now what about now? Are either of you two very familiar with, obviously Thanksgiving night football broadcast of years past? The great John Madden will pull out the turducken, right? The duck stuffed inside the turkey or inside the chicken stuffed inside the turkey. I don't want to spoil it because we'll get to it, but I did ask Scott after what he says is his best Thanksgiving food, which is not the turducken, something I guess kind of similar. I asked him his thoughts on it, and I think that'd be something he'd up for. So do we have the budget money, Ray? If Scott wins this race with Captain Optimistic, can I get the budget to make him a turducken, and we'll much like your Thanksgiving football night, MVP interview where they gotta take a bite of it, we'll get him to eat it.
Well, we'll have to petition that with Dan Leary, and put that in the budget proposal for next year.
I mean, I think Scott's here on it.
Well, we'll have live coverage. Scott Zeron's turkey stuffing on the itinerary.
Is that a valid segue, Ray? Before they come on the track, by the way, do we want to hear what Scott has to say about?
I was going to say because so there were a couple of segues to that. The race where Bartlett was not really happy with how Dandy Ideal finished was the one where he beat Captain Optimistic by 3/4 of the length. The driver of Captain Optimistic is, of course, Scott Zeron. You were able to catch up with Scott earlier in the night, and I promise the audio on this one is palatable.
And we're joined here by driver Scott Zeron ahead of tonight's Progress Pace Final. Scott, Captain Optimistic, last week, talk a little bit through that trip there, finished third.
Yeah, certainly not the trip I thought it would turn into. I wanted to take that 2-hole trip following a great horse in Prince Al Hanover. He's probably just not been in his best form lately. And we were speeding a little bit, 54-1 to the half. But no, my horse was sensational. To have made up the ground he did late to secure his way into the final, and then obviously a nice draw tonight. It looks good.
And like several others here, he's gotten the advantage perhaps of racing 2 weeks in a row here with the matron the week before. Has he taken well to Dover in the 5/8 track?
Yeah, he has, and he likes that starting spot too. I think we've had the 4-hole all 3 times now it'll be. But no, he's been positioned well. He can leave really strong. The 4-hole's a great spot behind this car, and having the favorite with the 8-hole, it'll make things interesting.
What do you think about where he's at this time of the year fitness-wise? It really seems like starting with the win at Hoosier 3 starts ago, he's really found something here at the end of the season.
He really has, honestly. I think his turning point was Jug Day. Jug Day, he raced sensational both heats, and we took the head pulls off of him both sides, and he seems to like that. Even though when you visibly watch him, he turns his head in and out a lot. But without the pulls, he's been really respectful, and stamina-wise, he's great. He's finishing off the year as strong as he can be, and we're going to swing for the fences tonight.
Scott, important last question. Holiday tomorrow. Best Thanksgiving Day food?
I mean, turkey's obviously always great. I like having ham with the turkey too, though, so that's for me.
Well, thanks, Scott. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Where do you get ham?
No ham on Thanksgiving. No.
What about Christmas? Is Christmas only ham?
Fine, whatever, but
But you have turkey. What about turkey for Christmas though? Can you do that, or is it only Thanksgiving?
You can do that too.
I'm just thinking to all the Thanksgiving dinners I've been to, where even is there ham? I know you can buy it at the store.
Man, I'm really good at the preview of coming attractions. The thing that Cameron Capone says, I don't think I've ever seen at Thanksgiving either. I mean, it's not like it's an outlandish thing, but I've not particularly seen it either as a side. But yeah, so that is interesting. Scott said about Jug Day is a big turning point. I was kind of thinking the same thing. I mean, it really seems like this back half of the season has been very good for Captain Optimistic. And, I think he's also done a good job. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, he was favored North America Cup at one point, right? And I think he skipped a few dances in there. Look, we say it all the time. Remember, these 3-year-old male pacers, they beat each other up week after week after week going these ridiculous miles that, I mean, obviously the open pace is a difficult division, but these are only 3-year-olds, right? So it's a tough thing to do week after week. So if you can skip a few of those big dances along the way and, maybe help yourself fitness-wise towards the end of the year, it can be a good thing. And obviously Post 4 is a very good draw.
I will correct you because you are wrong. He went from North America Cup to Meadowlands Pace to losing the Meadowlands Pace. He skipped the Adios, but that's because he went to the Cane Pace, which is just a week after the Adios.
Which
and
had
then
4 horses.
Yeah, and I think from there the layoff would have been until the New Jersey Classic, which was early September, and then he went right to the he's been active all year long.
He's been good in the second half, though. He's been much better. Since Scott's taken over, I think he's maybe driven him a little differently, a little less aggressively at times. That British Crown race was pretty good.
I don't know that, because Dexter was a bit more aggressive. He would put Captain Optimistic on the lead, but I mean, the horses had the same steering quirks with Scott as he had with Dex. But we'll talk more about that as that race comes up. We do have the ninth race.
I do want to add real quick on that race. Sorry, I know we'll get to this ninth race, but well, I'll say it after this. But I have important information on who's here and who's not, which trainers here and which aren't, and what do they mean? Because I have opinions on this, and I think there's people that are interested in these type of things. So we'll get to that then.
Yeah, we'll get to that after this ninth race. Fillies and Mares winners over handicap. I think this is, well, I shouldn't say this is the first over. This is potentially the first overnight we've done on a live show. Like, we talk about them all the time on the Harness Players podcast when we do like our Century Mile coverage. And
we did race 7, didn't we?
No, I mean kind of, but not with like too much intel or intrigue. This is a field of 8 competing in this $18,000 race. Quick look at the board. The 7 Racing Hungry for the Berries, currently odds on at 4-5. A fresh acquisition for them from Joe Bongiorno. Horse was third in his last start, in her last start for Bongiorno, at odds on up at Yonkers against similar company. Comes in off of a swoop to loop win at 9-5, closed into a 56-4 back half to do so. So I don't really know that that's
1-5
worth 1-5.
Right, this horse keeps taking money. You're the expert on getting me that second place horse underneath. But what about Fen G's Hui Pros Per IT from the Rayo and Trey Porter?
You pronounced that name exactly as I expected you to. Post one was a winner against Nauers at 10, 2 starts back. Last time fairly even against Racing Hungry. I don't know. That's a pretty obvious second place for the main thing. I'm just wondering is
it's a fourth choice right now behind.
I was in the middle of my sentence. The main thing we have to figure out, though, since Racing Hungry is 1-5 off of what seemed like somewhat of a perfect setup. Like, the horse very clearly was sharp and ready to race and won, but they went super fast early, and she was able to do her work when everyone else was tired. There's a part of me that just wonders if 1-5 really is what we have to swallow inside of this race. Pasta Delight's coming out of the Open. This is a drop in class for her, and she was a lot better when more against her type 2 starts back. But
isn't there a pick 3 that ends here? Do Will Pays give us any clues? Because I got to think that's going to drift up more 1-5.
There are no Will Pays for this race. I think pick 3 started in race 8.
I just feel like it's going to drift up from there, though. I don't think you're going to get this worth to stay at this kind of a price. What about? Okay, here's how this is the next 10. What about the show pool? I mean, I'm assuming show pool is not this massive bridge jump. If it is, then I guess it is going to be 1-5. I don't know.
$500 in the show pool.
There's only $500 in it.
How much of it's on the 7?
117.
Yeah, see, so like you'd expect that to be $300-400 of it if we're really going to keep this thing at 1-5. I don't think we're staying at 1-5. There it is. But warming up anyway. She, I believe, yes, she. Looks pretty good warming up though. That was a pretty confident look.
Too low. That's way too low. I wouldn't want her 4-5 or even money in this race.
I don't know. I feel like 4-5 might make a bit more sense.
Well, when I walked out here in front of the track at first, and she was 4-5, I was thinking about it. Wasn't the Edison lick my chops 4-5 yet, but we were thinking about it. But 1-5 is not the number.
That's got to be better in here. I think we have a minute to post.
You said the 5 Lofty Treasure on the drop.
Yeah, I think so.
Drop in class out of the Open, 7-1 right now. Third choice in the betting. The 4 Earth Angel is the second choice for Jason Johnson. The Earth Angel's not really my type. I feel like if anything, the 5 is the next most logical, but the board is telling you that. I'm not that opposed to the 2 to hit underneath, honestly. The Colombo horses tend to do okay hitting the ticket. This horse is 58-1.
We are up to 2-5, by the way, on the 7. I mean, come on, I'm the expert of chalk. I'm going to say factually, this thing is going to pay $340, so you're going to get the better part of 3-5.
The problem with the 2 is that still this horse is up in class. This horse is much better at the mid-level condition type races. You can see was 28-1, 2-1 versus similar horses in the last 2, and was inside on those races. So 55-1, I get. I just not for me.
I mean, you wouldn't put that horse underneath in a try?
I don't know. I mean, I don't play a lot of trifectas anyway. This isn't my kind. I prefer others in this race. I prefer the 5, the 6, even the 1 of them.
It's a lot less. It's a lot less windy, by the way, standing on the track now. Like,
okay.
It's basically nothing. So, well, I shouldn't say it though. But look at the flag out there. I don't feel much on my back, but that flag's really whipping. So.
They're going to the gate. 7 is 1-2. 5 is 7-1. There's no way that's going to hold. Lofty Treasure has to go off at least 5-1.
You've got 7-2 on Earth Angel. The 4 is really taking late money. I'm guessing my board looking is probably ahead of yours, but 7-2 on the 4, 1-2 on the 7.
Yeah, I have no idea why the 4 is that. Like, that's a money sink. That would make betting some exotics
Way too
worthwhile in this race.
Way too low.
Well, we're gonna find out soon.
My main, like, the make or break for me in this race is whether the 2 can hit the ticket.
Oh, there goes Costa. The light out for the early lead down along the inside. That's Feng Shui High Propriety.
See, and the other thing, I saw the 10-1 on the 6, and
4-1 is your final price on the 4, and the 7 to go off at 1-5. So you were getting double-digit odds. But you were getting 7-1 on Lofty Treasure and Feng Shui Prosperity at 13-1. So I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, the 4 is going to go off that short of second choice, but 4 is on the lead. So do with that info what you will.
Yeah, Barry right now is sitting 6th with the 1-2 favorite.
Very different. 1-2, 1-5.
1-5.
Very different than last week. Trip obviously a little further back this time for Racing Hungry, but I did have to move 3 wide there past 3 quarters last time, so.
Yeah,
it's now moved out of 6th, past the half here.
5 is
4 and
going
3. They're
first
moving
up.
well. Is that opening quarter 26-2 or 25-2?
26-2.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
So
gonna
fast.
come back. They're coming back to him. The main
And I
main
believe
thing is, will
He's got
Davis
cover
be
now.
able
He's
to get
second over.
Mhm.
I believe. Not sure who's first up there. YouTube probably got it better
That's
than
the
me. But
5,
okay, and then Barry's second over at this point with the favorite.
and the 6 is 3rd over, but the 2's 4th over, and Thompson's got some horse.
Other past 3 quarters in 123-2, I believe.
Yes.
7 is moving 3 wide now, and I think it's traveling pretty kindly here for Pat.
Yeah, this looks like a 7-5.
6 is trying to rally there, but it does look like the 5 probably the one to hold second here.
Yep. 7, 5, 6.
7, 5, 6. The 2 was coming there for
Yeah,
did
just
the 2 go for
too
4?
far. Nah, 2 got 5th.
I'm closing 5th. Kind of where she figured.
You'll get worse finishes from an 81-1 shot. Come on now.
Come on, Ray is our Dover expert. Don't criticize
Dover
Ray.
expert.
Ray is such a Dover expert. We're going to send him out here next year.
It came in incredibly obvious to the class. 7, 5, 6. The 4 was the money sink. What is the 7, 5 exacta coming back? It's coming back higher than the 7, 4. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's coming back 7-2.
I mean, yeah. And the try would probably be $40, maybe less, but.
Oh yeah, I'm double checking. The try in the last race paid 42-1.
Yeah, that's really good.
There was one person out there who was waiting desperately for what I teased about this trainer information. Here we go. It turns out that in this 10th race, one trainer has over half the field. that trainer is Ron Burke. He's not here. And if you would like my side commentary interpretations, I would not read into that much. I believe Burke has come to Dover maybe twice ever. Not a place he comes to. Does not mean anything at all. I did see Cameron Capone. We interviewed him. We'll play that interview in a bit. He travels everywhere with his horses, especially Manos. Not surprising at all that he is here, and then he is going to go home, and then he's going to take care of horses early tomorrow morning, and then he's going to be driving 4 hours away to Toga for Thanksgiving, where he continues to eat weird things, because we'll get to that. But, so him being here again, I wouldn't read into. But one I would choose to read into, since we've already kind of teased with the Scott Zero thing, Nancy Tackett is here, which I believe from years past, I even believe I know actually. I don't think she has come to this every year. So I've heard her covering Captain Optimistic. I personally, I'm not sure that I throw a great deal of stock into it, but I would put some sort of stock into it personally. Do with the info what you will.
And Hunter Oaks there as well. You're right. I can't. I feel like Nancy is gone when other horses, like even in the matrons and stuff, she's had horses in. What about, have you seen Brett Pelling at all around?
Yeah, actually, he just passed by behind me here, but he just had the one in the Sire Stakes, right? Or did he have one here?
No, he has Fusion in the Progress.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. Did he did have one in the 8th as well, though, right?
Oh, did he have one in the 8th?
Or no, I'm sorry. Lyndon Sassano did. Lyndon Sassano I saw here as well. For just applause in the 8th race. So sorry, I should have said that earlier on, which was probably a sign because, I mean, you heard Jason. Oh, that's the first thing I asked Jason. Yeah, I mean, I don't think, now let me confirm that. Yeah, okay. Jason hasn't driven this horse before, so, you know, obviously he wasn't familiar exactly with her, but yeah, he sounded pretty confident. He thought he was going to win that race, obviously. We all did, right? If the horse didn't break, but yeah, he said she was traveling pretty well. So Linda was here. And yeah, Brett is here too. He just passed back behind me, and I gotta be honest, I confused him and Linda for a minute as to which one had which race. I was wondering why he was still here after that 8th race, but that's right, he has the 10th race. So yeah, he is here. And actually, you know what? You know who I haven't seen yet is Dexter Dunn. So I don't know what that means if we don't have Dexter. I mean, I get to drive Fusion.
I don't know that you would fit. Well, no, you are about my size, and I'm about Dexter's size, so you would fit in the bike. I was gonna say the try in the last race came back 83 for 2. That's pretty good for a 1-2 on top.
I gotta ask you two a stupid question because as we've all established, me and my semi-retirement doesn't follow things super closely in racing anymore. So for Madden Oaks, because I passed Simon Allard earlier in the driver's lounge, was there a particular reason for that driver change in Braxton Boy? Were we told anything about that as the general public?
No, as far as we can, it's pure speculation on you know whether they wanted a change or things like that. There's really nothing out there.
So what do you make? So what do you two make of a race like this? Well, actually, you tell me, Ray. Can I ask this question, or do you want to show this interview with Cameron, or what do we want to do?
I think let's start with our interview that we got with Cameron Capone, trainer of Madden Oaks, and then we're gonna dive headfirst into the Progress Pace.
And we're joined here by trainer Cameron Capone ahead of tonight's Progress Pace final. Cameron, talk a little bit about Madden Oaks here. Obviously, an elimination win last week. How'd you feel about last week's race?
It was good. We went to Lasix and we treated him for bleeding with antibiotics, and it seemed like the horse turned right around.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a little bit about changes from last week. Looked like really a step forward efforts. You said on Lasix last week and again this week?
Yes, yeah. Second start Lasix.
Anything else equipment-wise?
No, we haven't changed anything really since we had him set, really. Same equipment every week for the most part. Game pull inside.
And obviously last year, lightly raced, we saw just the 3 starts. Obviously this year's had a tremendous year, right, with the Meadowlands Pace and second North America Cup. What point could you tell how special this horse is going to be for you?
After the North American Cup final. Yeah, when he was second to Blueprint by a nose, and then it's just been good since there. He had a little slip up in Kentucky where he wasn't racing so good, but it seems like we got him back now.
Obviously Braxton Boyd driving most of the year, Louis Football a little bit up in Canada. Now Simon Allard last week, and this week, how's Simon gotten along with him?
Seems like he's getting along with him good. He does want to make a slight change to the bridle. We're not exactly sure if we're going to do it or not, but we'll see from there.
And thoughts on post 3 tonight and how the trip might work out from there?
I leave that up to him, but it seems like it could be a slugfest early. That's what I'm thinking, so we'll see what happens.
Cameron, last question, most important one. Day before the holiday, favorite Thanksgiving food?
Honestly, mac and cheese and the turkey's always good. Yeah.
Thanks, Cameron. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
You were throwing a tizzy over mac and cheese?
Mac and cheese at Thanksgiving?
Yes, you're allowed to have mac and cheese at Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I love mac and cheese. I'm ticked off. I've never had mac and cheese before. I'm making mac and cheese tomorrow. Nobody can stop me, and I'm making it and taking it to Thanksgiving tomorrow.
You can rant about that in your therapy sessions of how your parents robbed you of a mac and cheese Thanksgiving tradition.
Ray, this seems like your kind of thing. I got a task for you. You got to go find the winner's circle photo last week with Madden Oaks, and then keep an eye when I zoom in on them when they come out to the track here, and you tell us whether or not they put on this bridal tape that Simon wants.
Well, that's the thing. I don't even remember. I couldn't tell you what the bridal really like. I watched the replay and I saw it, but like I can't tell you just off of a video feed. But that's Cam Capone. He's the trainer of the 3 Madden Oaks in the Grade 2 Progress Pace final. That's next. The line marks the horses start in the 2nd tier. That be the 9 Fallout, starting from the 2nd tier. I'm surprised looking at the betting of this race right now that Captain Optimistic is the favorite. I thought Dandy Ideal would be the favorite, but there's only three. There's 3,000 in the pool already.
I'm telling you, it's the Nancy Tactors here on site angle.
Well, I mean, I feel like Captain Optimistic has a good chance in this race, but
is it fair to say that last week's trip? I mean, it's always a great question, right? I mean, think about it. You were going to take, if you like the scores 1-5 on the scores last week, and it wasn't a great trip. Finished third, beaten only a length in the end of Madden Oaks. I mean, I think there's every reason to believe for a perfect draw tonight that he can absolutely get this done in this final. So, I guess in that sense, I don't think I am that surprised he's the favorite. I am very surprised that. 3-1. I mean, I'll be surprised Dandy Ideal stays that far away from Captain Optimistic at the end. But if it's a fifth of a point off between those two in the end, Captain Optimistic gets a shorter price. I won't be shocked.
And he looked ready to race last time. If you watch the replay turning for home, Scott is jammed up and seesawing the horse from the pocket until the passing lane opens. But then at that point, Poppy's Rocket had already accelerated. Madden Oaks, he hadn't had to make a single move until the top of the stretch, and everything was already cratering in a 56-2 back half. So that's also why I have a tough time really figuring out what Madden Oaks has to offer in this race. Captain Optimistic kind of hit a gear after being I don't want to say choked up, because you can obviously shut a horse's air off, and I don't know that even came close to happening in that drive, but I thought that was a good third place finish from him. But Mike, I mean, I can even see that even money, I don't know that's really the price I want on Captain Optimistic here.
No, it's short. It's short for him. I do think that Dandy Ideal will ultimately be the favorite in here. Just the way he's been bet and his speed. He's very hot right now. Also, I mean, he's missed in that Breeders' Crown, but otherwise, 3 wins sandwich around that effort. He's really fast. And, you heard Bartlett in the interview said, plugs in last time going 49-1 over this racetrack. If you get 3-1, yes, please. I mean, sign me up. And that is extreme value. I don't think you'll get that, but he's not going to be odds on either. So who do you like here? I mean, Madden Oaks certainly took a step forward there. You got the inside post. I don't think he's that far off of it this time. I think he'd block off here. He's going to be involved early. This race could shape up a little different than most. Whoever wins is going to have to earn it. I think they're going to be flying early, and the trip's going to matter a lot.
Pick 5 pays off.
Location-wise, I would make an argument. I'm starting to think back to the race we've seen. You two have gotten a chance to see it at home. I'm getting a chance to watch it here. And as the wind picks back up here and is really, honestly, whipping again, and I'm realizing, I'm a little sheltered on that bridge where I was standing. So I think it's always been this windy, and it really is picking up. We have not seen a horse on the front end win in the last couple of races. And, I think there's been some fast second quarters, but like that last one where they hit 54.5, that's clearly aided by how strong this wind is in this run stretch. But point being, is there an argument to be made here that you really don't want to be on this lead at this point? Have we seen enough to start to argue that?
Well, it depends, because if you remember when we were watching the earlier races, Tetrick was able to get to the lead with that one horse. And
does that horse not at 1-5 look like it was going to cruise home and win, and all of a sudden to stop near the wire and nearly got caught?
It was stopping at the wire because if you look at every one of the horse's lines where she had 10 seconds on the year, it's probably because she just gets tired in the last
Again, my angle's bad. I don't know what it looked like for you all on the track feed, but it really just looks pretty bad from this angle. Mine, though, once again, it's not great, but...
Well, I want to also note that the pick 5 pays off here. Only about like $5,000 bet into the dollar pick 5, but 4 horses. It's only live to 4 horses. 3 of them are pool shots. The 3, 4, and 5 are all pool shots. The 8 is live on 2 tickets in the pick 5. So the 5 is the only Burke horse with money on it, which is the next thing I was going to ask you too. How do we handicap a race where it's funny this morning when I read the bottom of the program and was looking at it for the first time, I thought that I just kind of saw like the last part of it and was like, oh, okay, there's 2 horses that are uncoupled. That's pretty standard, I thought. But I was like, wait, doesn't Burke have more than that in there? And then looked closer, like, oh, right, it's 5 for Burke in here.
He had 5 in the audios too, if you remember.
He did.
Yeah.
And Prince Hal won.
He had 5 into the limbs in the audio, so they all 5 make the final?
Yeah.
Okay, well then, here we are again.
And Swingtown just missed, and he was a crazy price.
For me, it's not even close, though. Fallout really is the one that I'm most interested in from Burke by far. Although I suppose Swingtown has had some okay moments along the way, but I'm not sure about where he's at recently.
Yeah, I have no idea what's happened to him.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a long season, too. I mean, he was a really good 2-year-old, and he's danced a lot of dances this year, and his form's off right now. Yeah. And he didn't even make the round final.
Well, like, also, what does it say about him? He doesn't really have, like, a super marquee win. He's won a couple of stakes in his career and state bred stuff, but in all of that, he's still made just about $1 million.
We do have horses in the track here if we want to get a look at some of these.
Oh, yes. Yes, we do. They are parading specifically in front of Edison.
There's Swingtown and Todd McCarthy.
That is not Prince Hal. That is Swingtown, but
Todd informs me he's going to be going next month. I think he's looking for the warmer weather. And we have Simon and Mad Notes. We do have Dexter here. Dexter's Syracuse.
Dexter was probably driving 90 down the highway to.
Also, probably looking forward to getting home sometime next month, I imagine. And it's definitely looking very nice there. And, Fusion is kind of taking his time, kind of working.
This is also Captain Optimistic's last start, worth noting, because he's going to stand stud at Deo Valente next year.
Poppy's Rocket's another one of those horses that a certain Kevin Plouch, I think, was talking about very highly for a long time last year. It hasn't quite fulfilled the Kevin Plouch this year. A prophecy. There's Railroad Station.
Railroad Station.
We've seen 3 of the 5 births, I believe, at this point.
So T.H. Colby's next.
T.H. Colby. Rory Callahan.
Then we got Dandy Ideal.
Dandy Ideal coming up.
That's them, all right.
7-2 right now. Fantastic value.
There's no way he goes off 7.
Last but not least, we have Fallout and Tim Petrick.
Fallout was 11-1 last I checked, and I don't know that I really want a piece of him. Yeah, at 12-1, I think that's really low.
Railroad Station 19-1, I think, is extreme value.
That is crazy.
Since he is right here, does anybody have any Brett Keller questions you'd like to ask?
Shout out Diamond Creek.
Yeah, pretty much. That's their homebred.
Especially since the audio is zippy, I'm just gonna mute myself real quick while you two chat, and I'll just go ask them how the week's been and anything significant for this weekend.
Yeah, and then just relay it. Just given how the wind and the audio has been, this is how live production works when you have no budget. But we have 9 horses in the $274,000. If we can't afford a turducken or ham for Scotty, then can we really afford microphones? We got 7-5 now on Captain Optimistic. Madden Oaks is 9-5 after he was 16-1 or 15-1, I should say.
Got back on track though last time. Came from a pretty tough spot. Kicked 27-2. I mean, the source has a lot of class. He got a new pilot. He got Lasix, and now he has an inside post. So I think 9-5 is a little crazy, but he was going to take money.
Well, Dandy Ideal money is now starting to come in. He's even money at this point.
Okay.
And he's probably going to stay there.
He should be.
Would you like this information in English, Australian English, or Swedish?
Well, one of them I don't speak, so go Swedish.
Låt oss prata om det hästar. Det finns en tvåa.
I'm impressed that you actually did that.
I didn't think that was me when you pick. I really wasn't thinking it, but Brett said nothing significant this week. He said 3 very good weeks. He said the last 3 weeks have been very good for him. No particular changes heading into this week's progress pace final. He did say in terms of how the trip might work out, he said it was a good post. He thinks, don't worry, here you go, Ray. Here comes the Australian part for you. I think Stex needs to push out of there, get around the 1, and get 3 back the fence, maybe 4 back the fence, and work out a trip from there.
Okay, so he wants to be second over.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
He wants to leave the gate to be second over, which that's a 5D chess move if you can map it out. I do want to say that Fusion, I thought, raced well in that elimination. He too was held up. He didn't have to he wasn't shimmying around as much as Captain Optimistic was, but once Dex came outside and then gave him a path inside, and he finished the race well.
I mean, I think Fusion has one bad race on the card recently, and that's a Breeders' Crown from an impossible spot in post 10. And to be fair, doesn't get started with the eye for the interference. I mean, after 3/4. I mean, that was an impossible spot. And I think the really impressive effort was is a 5 back down on the Tattersall down at the Red Mile where the break, after 3/4, and then still re-rallied to finish second, just missing in the end. And I think that race was that Prince Howell, whoever he's behind one of those 3-year-olds, right? So
the Tattersall,
yeah.
Well, Prince Howell won a Bluegrass division. Prince Howell got into a battle with Mad Noakes and a Tattersall. They went 19 and change, and Handsome Stranger won.
Oh, okay, yeah. So still, I mean, so I think that's valid. I mean, again, if you're looking for some sort of value, if you're playing a dry, maybe or something far underneath, 35-1, I think is fair value. And by the way, if we haven't updated the boarding time recently, 3-5, Dandy Ideal, 5-2, Captain Optimistic. So those two have flipped quickly. 4-1, Mad Noakes is taking some significant support. I mean, I'm not sure what to make of Mad Noakes, so I don't know if we've really gotten a chance to discuss some of the things Cameron said, in particular the Lasix. I mean, again, I don't want to get fallen into a mirage of, what did that do for the horse, but it clearly was a very different effort last week, and what can you point to? Well, you added Lasix and took care of some bleeding issues.
I just don't know that. I don't know that he's the same horse he was for the North America Cup. And he's a horse.
I mean, last week we were kind of getting there, and again, what happened last week with Lasix? But certainly not through the Kentucky stretch, and since the Meadowlands pace, no, certainly not.
Well, and like he's always had a hanging issue, and I can't tell if the Lasix could be a thing of the. I just don't want to take him at 4-1 in this spot, and maybe I'm being stubborn about that.
He also, I believe, scratched out of the New York Sire Stakes final. Is that correct? And he scratched out another spot as well. So, there's been a few issues throughout the year with him. So, I mean, is he going to put it all together tonight? I guess we'll see. I don't know that 7-2 now. I don't think that's really the number you want to find out at, though. 15-1 last week, that might have been – I'm not sure you really could have found that effort either. Maybe if you really thought hard about the late 6, I guess. But that was probably the time to get it. Probably not this week.
Truly the key is, do you put up or do you shut up on Dandy Ideal? Because, Mike, I mean, 3-5 is an admittedly low price, but again, he's probably the fastest horse in this race. That outside, I think he only loses if it's a contested first quarter, and even then, I think there's some allowance for him to get strung a bit and still win.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's the best horse going in this race. Again, plugs in last time to win. He's the fastest horse right now, but that post is significant, and I do think that Mad Noakes is going to go early here, so he could get stung. And then what? How is Captain Optimistic raced? You've seen the Scott Zeron, I'm going to take no prisoners type of drive. That's a very big possibility here, especially with the favorite on the outside. This is the last big race of the year. I think it's going to be contested. I think the value on the board right now is Railroad Station. He's due to win one of these. He's going to be right there. He's 17-1. He's the horse that I want in here from a value standpoint.
I see
Mike,
more.
Mike, I got $20 in my pocket here and a machine behind me. You tell me, what do I do with my $20 in my pocket? Because everybody at home also has $20 and a dream in this race. Give me some Black Friday Chanel bag money.
From a value standpoint, I'd probably play 10 to win on the 5, and then I'd box a 5-8 exact $5 box with that $20. I think that those are good bets.
And Ray would bet $20 a show on the 8 horse, and then take $2 in profit on Black Friday and go window shopping. He won't actually buy anything, and he'll go run the White Castle for $2 lunch.
No, honestly, I could tell you right now, I would put that 20 on the 4 to win. I think 5-2 is closer to a price that I would take. I think the horse could drift up to 3.
I spent the whole time driving over here convincing myself Dandy Ideal is the only horse I'm very interested in these races. And at this point, Ray, I'm at the same point as you. I think Captain Optimistic in the last 3 hours has changed my mind with everything I've taken in and considered out here and listened to Scott and everything else along the way. And 5-2, I think, is a fair price. And I think the trip is such the key thing here, though. From that post, I think he's going to clearly get the best trip of any of the horses that we're discussing, considering here.
Right, but again, the other piece that I very clearly can see unfolding is Jason getting strung to a 25-4 first quarter. The half clicks up in 54, and Dandy Ideal just keeps going. That also is very possible.
If that happens, that half is going to click up in 53 and something because, again, wind and revs up horse. But yeah, the sentiment's there though. Yeah,
that's a fair point. Well, Dandy Ideal is 4-5 right now. Captain Optimistic's 5-2. Mad Noakes is 4-1. Mike's Choice Railroad Station 17. So I could see him hitting the ticket. I just don't know that he's a candidate just yet.
Good value though. I mean, if you're gonna like him here, you're getting paid.
I think you're more likely to get paid underneath because your ticket will cash.
What about Fallout? I do not hate Fallout underneath as a potential price. Are you two completely opposed to this as a trifecta round outer?
I don't know that Fallout hits the top 3 from the 9 hole.
Okay, well, give me Captain Optimistic over that Dandy Ideal and Fallout and Fusion 4th. It's just going to be a Mad Note completely out of there.
For what it's worth, I love that John Rallis chimed in to just transcribe the Cam Capone interview we got from Ed.
Very nice. Oh, come on, that was one you could actually hear. Apparently, come on, that one didn't need transcribed. Tell me what
I know.
I like the fact that John's always tuning in and supporting us. That's always nice.
They're going to the gate here for
and
the
I've
progress
heard that
pace.
John is about to get old, but he is still eligible for the Dan Patch Award for breakthrough. So we will wish him the best of luck this year. Well, him and Bojangles are both questionably eligible for Dan Patch because Canadians, but
1-9.
Danny Ideal went down to 1-9.
No, I'm talking about John being the breakthrough.
Oh, I was gonna say. Well, Jason's kind of gapping the gate. Looks like he might be trying to time it.
2-1 Captain Optimistic, 4-5 Dandy Ideal, 1-9 nobody in this race, right?
Oh,
Ray's eyes were lighting up at 1-9 though, as usual.
Yeah. Scotty's going. He's sending Captain Optimistic. Dandy Ideal's going out. 1 and 2 cannot leave with him.
I love Yannick.
Who's in between? Is that Yannick in between right now?
Yeah, he's gonna have a seat in 3rd, so he's gonna hit the try in that case.
Come on, Yannick.
Town in 4th. Fusion in 5th. Then it's
Fallout, Madden
Oaks, Madden Oaks,
Poppy's Rocket,
Colby, last, yeah.
26. I was
26.
really close.
And here is Captain Optimistic, Dandy Ideal. Captain Optimistic to sit second.
So instead of 25 and 4, it was 26. So we'll see what this half clicks up and whether Dandy Ideal just still goes all the way. Optimistic went up 5-2. So really, like,
excuses for him though. That's where you want him. If you have Optimistic, you want him right there.
Right.
They're gonna click this fast. 53 flat.
Fusion's coming first up. You're right.
I'm telling you, right now that's the heaviest that flag is blown all night long. Is right now in this race.
Scott's got horse.
Yeah, he's coming.
He's waiting to move.
Who's first up?
That's Fusion. Fallout's second over. Scott. Dex can't advance. Scott has all the room in the world to pull, and Timmy's going.
Fallout is moving 3 wide.
I won 21 and 2. Scott's locked in now.
It looks like Jason just popped the plugs this week.
Mad Noakes is second up now.
He's gonna have to try up the inside.
All right.
And
Scott's going inside.
Fallout, Mad Noakes down the outside. This is a good finish. What do we got? Mad Noakes?
Oh, look at Mad Noakes.
Or Fallout?
Fallout.
Fallout.
I gotta bite my tongue. 20.
If only somebody said Fallout was a good pick here.
20-1, he wins it.
Let's ignore, of course, my commentary on Mad Noakes. But besides that,
I think the piece of it that I should have listened to more on when Timmy said the blood work came back bad. But even then, wins by a nose. Mad Noakes looks like second.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Optimistic third. Dandy Ideal fourth at 3-5.
That's a rarity too. I'm gonna go on a limb and say, well, at least in my time in the sport, which again is only let's go 5-6 years, but I think we've seen a lot of favorites in this race and a lot of fairly short prices. 20-1 has got to be maybe not the highest winning progress pace price of all time, but it's got to be something, right?
Yeah, they made back about a fifth of what they spent at Harrisburg on this race.
Maybe a little more.
Slight bit more.
Maybe a fourth.
And now, what did you say, Ray, in terms of next year's plans? Who was Poppy's Rocket? This was Poppy's Rocket's last race. Is that what you said?
No, this is Captain Optimistic's last race. He's going to
Captain Optimistic's.
So not the other piece that's worth noting as part of what made this so tough to navigate. Dandy Ideal got strung out that far. He got only beat up. He was only beat by a half length. So
our winner is slowly coming back.
From that post, and that. I mean, ultimately, probably
how confident are we in this?
Cost him to win. So it's a game of inches.
How confident are we here? By the way, we still don't have the numbers. Just one.
Yeah, very confident. I know how to watch a race. 1 second.
9.438.
9.438.
I do know how to watch a race, but the 4 was second.
Well, so they have two angles.
That's no idea of the angle.
They have two angles. They have the race feed angle, and I forget they also put on the head, like the finish line angle, and that one actually did look tighter than the race feed for whatever reason. But I was gonna say something, but I can't remember.
Well, we wanted a price. I wanted a price, but I picked the wrong Burke horse.
Well, I was telling you. I mean, I wasn't entirely sold with Railroad Station inside of this spot.
He was too close to that fast pace. He wasn't going to do anything. He's typically, he's better with coming from off of it. So, yeah.
But
Ray, that's a really good looking blanket. That's what they really paid the $500,000.
It looks silky. But back to what you were saying, Mike. Yeah, like we imagined Dandy Ideal was going to get that type of trip, but again, game of inches. He gets that type of trip, and it's only a half length that he loses by. That could have been a third. That could have been a second. It's tough to figure out when you think that's possible what that outcome actually is. At least betting wise, it came out the best case scenario because the 3 to 5's off the ticket entirely. So that's the gamble. 42 to win. Captain Optimistic 380 to place. Madden Oaks 580 to show.
So Ray, the bad news is we don't get any Chanel bag money for Mike, but Mike tells me that we're going to win millions of dollars at the craps tables on our Arizona adventure next week.
We're going for it. Can't wait.
Ed, are you going to try and catch Timmy after Alex?
I can if you'd like me to. Do you have what do you got for me?
Well, I mean, just I don't know, get the typicals. You've done this before.
Yeah.
This is your job, not my job.
I wasn't sure if you had a specific question you wanted asked.
Well, I mean, I feel like no matter what, it's going to be answered by Tim's thoughts on the race, or maybe you start by asking, was the second tier really that bad? Because it put him into the second over spot, and that won him the race.
I'm trying to listen right now. He's being interviewed on the feed. Maybe you two, honestly, listening, you might hear a little bit more than me. But
I was waiting for Ed to come back, and I was reading a text message at the same time.
Oh yeah, sorry, we're gonna be a little bit here just listening to this interview. What about prices? Do we have prices yet?
42.20 to win, 15.20 to play, 7.20 to show. Captain Optimistic $383. Madden Oaks $5. The exacta return $192. The try paid $840. Dollar pick, no super. Dollar pick 3 $94.20, and the pick 5 is a $4,000 carryover.
Here we go.
All right.
I'm joined again by Tim Tetrick after the progress pace. Timmy told me post 9 was a big problem here.
It is, but it worked out there. They say blind squirrel finds an acorn once in a while, and it just worked out good. But he earned it. I was second over, but the first up horse didn't take me very far. I had to 3 deep around him down the backside, and but he stuck his nose out at the wire where it pays the most.
Yeah, what were your thoughts around that final turn? We saw you make that move 3 wide, and obviously Scott trying to get out of the pocket there and a little wide.
It was going to be a horse race, and I was really counting on mine to dig in, and he did, so it worked out good for me.
All right, Tim, we get you a second time tonight. So what's the worst Thanksgiving food?
I like all food, so I'm pretty good.
All right.
I'm a very happy eater.
We'll let you get to that tomorrow, and hopefully it tastes a little better now. Congratulations, Tim. I don't have a good answer to worst, by the way. I just figured we'd ask because we have nothing else. But
I kind of lean on sweet potatoes.
Sweet potato.
Yeah. No, every time I have them, I feel terrible.
You know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to go for the really controversial one. Turkey. I don't dislike it, but I think I love sides more than turkey.
Ray, when you get older, you're gonna like sweet potatoes. I'm telling you, your tastes change as you age. You might like them. Give them another try.
I don't know. I've always been told the oxalates don't agree with me, and I don't even know what that means.
By the way, we should mention, for anybody that's still watching this, there are still 5 more races tonight. So if we need some get-out races, we got plenty of them. And there's some good betting the rest of the way. I was looking at the rest of this card. I will definitely be paying attention the rest of the evening here.
Well, everyone else can too, but we're done. We saw we saw me say a horse had absolutely no chance, and of course that horse won. And there's not much I can do with that. Not much I can do about that except sit back. I
think you should acknowledge that for once I gave you a horse that actually won at 20-1. You should acknowledge exactly what Tim said. The same concept of
Ray eating crow for Thanksgiving this year. Little crow for Ray.
Yeah, I'm going to be frying it, and we will have to call the fire department because I have no concept of displacement. Everything will burn down when I throw that crow into the fryer. Fallout a winner in the Progress Pace, and that does it not only for the Grand Circuit in 2025, but for this episode of the Harness Players Podcast.
As we wrap up, it is worth saying it is fantastic. Obviously, our partnership with the USTA, everything we do here at In the Money with them, and obviously their sponsorship of shows like this. But I will say, from my experience of all the places I've gone to, this is no knock on any other place, but the hospitality here at Dover has been spectacular. We're chatting with the director of racing earlier, publicity people, everybody over here, helping me find their way through this maze that is this paddock, by the way. That really is a maze, but it's great to talk with them, giving me everything we possibly need, access to wherever we want to go. So they were fantastic to work with, and hopefully that's a sign that I don't know, you two are the ones in charge now. I just sit back and go where I'm told. So hopefully this is an assignment again next year, because this was a lot of fun, and hopefully people tuning in, good little pre-Thanksgiving something to do. Although, yeah, people like Rallis tune in. It's just Wednesday for him. It's nothing special.
Right. Well, I think most other people are preoccupied with Thanksgiving because this is one of our worst performing shows. Yeah, in the end, tomorrow's a holiday. We're just chilling, watching good harness racing. I'm losing, but what else is new?
Well, Ray, if you were here with me, you could go right in there, and there's a casino that'll take more of your money all night long.
That's exactly what I need, is to be rolling at the Ed Hatter table when I make a fraction of the Ed Hatter money. That's definitely going to spell well for me. I'm not come April of next year going to have to be on my knees groveling to the IRS. Oh, please. I don't know where my money went. I went to the casino with NASA Boy.
God.
You see the types of bets Ed throws down. If I match that, I'm screwed.
What do you mean you take the winning bets and you're good?
Well, the problem is you make the big winning bets, and then you make the other bets even bigger, and those are the ones.
There's Todd and Andy heading home for the night if you'd like post-game interviews.
No, let them go. Let them go. They've done enough work.
This is kind of like being like a basketball game or something. Like we're outside the locker room just waiting who's going to come out in the pier.
It is kind of crazy to think about, though. They drive all the way down from Jersey for this one race, and it's done, and they're going home. That's like
not even together. They don't like each other. They don't drive together.
They don't like each other? That's not true.
Probably not true, but that's a fun thing that I said confidently.
No, they got different families. Todd ain't crashing on Andy's couch no more. Todd's a grown man.
And that's why we go follow them to go determine if they're getting in separate cars or not. We got to go investigate. I will say oftentimes I've heard a lot of them carpool together, so there's a valid chance they're probably
would they want to hope that they're carpooling with Dexter Dunn, or because Dexter will get them to their destination quickly. They just might be.
Oh, and I guess I'm not liable to share driver lore, but let's just say there's somebody else I know would do the opposite of that if they were in charge of driving the carpool.
If it was
so
me,
I've been told. See, I can't even say because I don't even know it for sure. But I actually know I can assure this person was the last person to Rosecroft and Potomac Pace night a few years ago. So,
well, we'll leave that to speculation as we wrap this show. We're gonna get rid of Hatter just so we can actually wrap the show and he doesn't keep interjecting. But Mike, the rest of the year we have some Century Mile to look forward to late towards the end of the year, and then from there, 2026, we're looking to rev this all back up with Yonkers with the same old deal.
Yeah, Grand Circuit, we're all over it. And we'll still have a few Century cards to finish out the year. Missing our Frazier, which is a shame because we really enjoyed covering them. But next year will be just as big, all the big spots, and we'll be back at it. We appreciate sponsorship from some of our known sponsors. The USTA, Diamond Creek certainly has been fantastic this year. I expect them to be back in the mix next year. Hopefully we can do more with them. So just so you know,
and hopefully more to come, because really this stuff doesn't happen in part without support of them, but also with support of people who are you. like they say on PBS, which apparently is now we don't like PBS.
Viewers like you.
Yeah, viewers like you are the ones who make all of this happen. So if you get upset about PBS, get upset with yourself. But in all seriousness, none of this here at In the Money, none of this Harness Player stuff would be happening if not for viewers like you watching, supporting, because that gives incentive for more of this stuff to happen, especially with where this sport is nowadays. And like you watch just every other sport, the amount of coverage that they are able to get, and racing, as harness racing specifically, really, we're the only game in town.
Yeah, we need some more, I think. And if anybody's interested in helping us out next year, we certainly will not turn any offers down. So if you want more of this coverage, certainly, I know Ray talked to some people at the sales and things like that. I'll be at the symposium in Arizona. You can catch me there. There's certainly lots of opportunities into the next year for some sponsorship. So, if you're interested. Well,
and certainly there's room for us to also expand the imagination of what we could possibly even do on show, and what type of lens we can actually bring into the sport of harness racing to maybe get it more in front of more eyes, and by getting in front of more eyes, maybe get into more people's wallets at a certain, but in the good way, not like we're forcing our ways into them, because that would be robbery, and you don't do that. But for me, at least, when I was a kid, I went to the racetrack. I was like, I love all the numbers. I love that when the races go, people make money. I want to be people make money. And then I became that, Mike. I became the guy who went to the windows. I put my money in, and I got money back. A lot of times I didn't get money back, and I got really mad about those times. But the times you get money back, that makes up for it. That's it for this show.
With the cat,
yeah, we gotta get ready for our Thanksgiving dinners. Hopefully, if you're an American, you enjoy that. If not, happy Thursday, the rest of the world. I hope it's a great day before Friday and the weekend. Stay tuned on the In the Money Media Network. There will still be content of various kinds through the winter. We'll have some Century Mile stuff upcoming, but really, everything is going to pick up steam for Kentucky Derby season. Of course, if you're into the flats. We're going to have some of those big prep races coming up in January and February, which is already right around the corner. And, of course, come March, Oak Grove is back, but also Blue Chip Matchmaker and the MGM Borgata Series are back. And we're hoping to have continued coverage of that here on the In the Money Media Network. That's it for this show, though. Congratulations to Fallout and everyone who bet him. I was not one of them, but you certainly made some nice money on this Wednesday night if you were able to cash. Good night.